Today we're going to be unboxing the KEMIMOTO'S 6-speaker soundbar for side-by-side or UTV. So let's get to it. First thing, you got your clamps. Now, let's pull this out. Oh. Instructions and remote. All right, let's get this out of the way. So, I can. All right, pull this off. This off. All right, so there she is. KEMIMOTO 6-speaker soundbar. Here's your mounting points. You can also mount it this way. It's got a rear light, almost like a chase light. It does have a cigarette lighter adapter. Let's take a look in here and see what else it's got. Run to your battery, and then you would ultimately plug this in, and then you would have, this is nice. I actually like this. Right now I have a soundbar installed in my side-by-side. It's actually a KEMIMOTO 4-speaker. It's the S60. And it doesn't have this option. Now, the thing I like about this option, soundbars, sometimes when they're hardwired to batteries, are known to, even if they're powered off, eventually they will put a trickle drain on your system. I've known people that have left soundbars attached, that have gone on vacation and come back to a dead battery. So keep in mind, this is actually a great option. You can just disconnect this when you park the side-by-side or UTV after riding. My soundbar right now is actually hardwired to my battery. I could disconnect it from the back of the soundbar, but with the way my roof goes on, that's going to be a pain in the butt. So let's take a look at this. USB port, you can plug in for music. And I'm not sure if that offers charging, pass-through charging or not. And then there's an aux in as well. I mean, some people still use it, but 2025, I don't know who does. But maybe if you want to wire an actual in-stereo install, you could use that. So what I'm going to do is, so if you look here, so you have your RGB out aux, which is this, and then you have your USB in. Again, I'm not sure if that offers charging or not. And then this is your 12 volt to either your cigarette lighter. I wouldn't necessarily run this directly plugged into your cigarette lighter. That's up to you. You probably want to hide the wires, but you can hardwire it to your battery. And that's what I'm going to end up doing. So, all right. So as I stated earlier, I am currently running a S60 KEMIMOTO soundbar in this side-by-side. KEMIMOTO S60 is actually a 4-speaker soundbar, and I don't know if you can see it up behind me or not. And I got it from Amazon. And the reason why I got it is I read some reviews on it, and some of the reviews were pretty decent. They were good. I mean, you know, KEMIMOTO makes a great product. They really do. KEMIMOTO has come a very long way in introducing products for the off-road community. So I ended up getting the S60. I didn't want something massive to take up a lot of room up in the upper roll bar. And I looked at a lot of different sound bars. I looked at the JBL, which was the rally bar, which I think was like $600. And I'm like, for $600, I can put a lot more of that money somewhere else. So I settled up to about the $200 range when it came to picking a sound bar for this unit. And sorry, there's a dog walking through my development. I settled on the S60 just based on reviews, people's feedback, you know, Amazon, and also some Facebook groups. But this is a silver soundbar, and I don't know if you guys can see it. I will grab the camera and show it to you. And I really didn't want a silver soundbar. I wanted a black one. So I settled for this one based off of the cost and the model and its capability. Plus it offered, you know, different lighting. You know, some people don't like whips that they put on their machines or on their units. I'm not a big fan of those whips, but the really cool thing about some of these KEMIMOTO soundbars and other soundbars is have rear lights. So if you mount the soundbar facing forward like I have here and how I'm going to do this one, they have rear lights in the rear that you can change the style. They can flash, they can, you know, they do everything. So if you're riding at night, people behind you can see you. You know, brake lights get covered with mud, and having the soundbar up high gives you that option to have a little bit of illumination when you're riding at night or in the fog or dusk, dark, whatever. So I really liked the S60's capability to go through many different ranges of lights. This soundbar, I don't think it has a model number. Like I'm running the S60, there's an S40, there's an S80. This is just, they named this their 6-speaker soundbar. This soundbar also has the rear chase lights as well, or display. So I'm anxious to see what they look like. So let me go ahead. I'm going to actually walk you through how I mounted this soundbar. I will throw out a note that some of the CFMoto Gen 2 ZForces, there's a lot of people that struggle to mount soundbars to the upper roll bar of these units because of the way the roll bar curves, it bends. And there was a guy on a Facebook group that posted a comment, an image on how he mounted his. So this is a pro tip for any CFMoto ZForce owners, Gen 2, on how I mounted this soundbar, thanks to that gentleman who gave us the tip. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right. I know it's not super clean, but as you can see, this is the S60, sorry. This is the S60 KEMIMOTO soundbar. And this is the one, this is a 4-speaker soundbar. I think it's going to be comparable to the 6-speaker soundbar that we're going to be putting in, swapping out. But I think the 6-speaker might sound a little bit better, but we're going to find out. This one, how I mounted it, and I'll put links in the description below, is, let me grab. So most soundbars come with this style roll bar mount, which goes right over your roll bar, and this part attaches to the top of the soundbar. Some of them have a mechanism you can slide it all the way across. These soundbars actually are pre-drilled, so you have to pick a spot where you're going to mount it, but that's not a problem. So this is what they come with. This goes over your roll bar. Obviously your bolts go through here, and then you tighten it down and you're done. Because this roll bar curves, and I'll show you in a second, I had to come up with a different option. And let me show you. All right. So normally I film with GoPros, but today I'm actually trying something a little bit different. I'm actually filming with my my iPhone. So if you look down in there, I actually ended up going with a different type of mount that actually goes around the roll bar, obviously, bolts in through here, and then you can actually adjust this to the curvature. And if you can see, the roll bar is actually curved. I'm hoping you guys can pick that up. So it's not a straight across roll bar. So trying to mount a sound bar, let me climb in here. Trying to mount a sound bar that obviously you have no options to move these, right? And plus there's brackets back here that get in the way when you have to attach the roof. these were an amazing option that the gentleman recommended, and I'm glad that he did. So I added a couple washers in here to give me a little bit of space with the bolt that they provided, which was fine, and then included a lock washer. But this thing has not moved. I mean, I'm pulling on it pretty hard. It will not move. So pro tip, any CF Moto Gen 2 ZForce owners looking to mount a soundbar in the traditional position instead of mounting it downwards, this is how you go about it. And again, I'll have links in the description of these. I ended up using a little bit of rubber spacers in here, which just keeps it from sliding. But I mean, you can see with the angle this is and how tight it is not moving. So I ended up switching from my iPhone to my GoPro. I can't work with two hands trying to hold a phone. So as you can see, I removed the S60 soundbar. I had to move this bracket a little bit over, but this will give you a better view of the brackets and how the roof is curved. So the traditional, you can see these are kind of curved here inward in order to meet the bolt holes. So this is the option that I had to go with in order to mount it the way a traditional soundbar is mounted, facing forward. Plus, I wanted to get use of the rear lights. Let me show you those. And again, I didn't hook this up yet. Don't mind the tools. This is the wiring from my S60, but you can see the lights here. These are like the, chase lights that would flash from the rear for rear riders to see. So that's the traditional way I wanted to mount it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unwire these and wire it up to the battery. So first thing I'm going to do is take my seat out. I'm going to slide this forward. I'm going to try to slide this forward. Okay. All right. Now I do have a rubber mat that I installed here to cut down on some of the engine noise. It also, the 2025 models do a great job blocking heat, but this will actually help block heat as well. So I'm going to get behind this to the battery. All right, so I'm going to remove the positive. Now, my goal is, these have holes, so I got to pull this off. I'm not happy about that, but I also have a trickle charger that my dealer installs on all their brand new machines that they sell, which is pretty awesome. So I'm going to take this. Not really liking that ground exposed. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm actually going to tape this negative for right now, because what I don't want to have happen is this thing bounce up against something while I'm wiring in the positive and grounding out. So put this bad boy in here. This is my battery trickle charger. I'm going to throw, hoping you guys can see this, and get out of my way. And there we go. So by putting tape over this, it just protects it so I don't, bang it up against a frame or sparks fly and I'm welding stuff together, right? All right, so that's in. So now I'm going to remove the negative. I got to remember to hook that trickle charger back up. Where are you? See how that was just laying right here? So, good tip. Tape it up. That way you're not throwing sparks. Now if I can get my tape off. Pro tip from a big dummy. Alright, like I said, I'm going to pull my trickle charger for right now. I'm going to put this actually, that's the negative to the other sound bar. We're gonna put this in. All right, tighten this up. Now, not too tight, don't want to strip it or break it, but you want it snug. Okay, all right, so now we can run this up through here just to get it out of the way. Now, the thing you gotta realize is, if you're, you know, you can see there's some mud and dirt in here. So if you have this laying down here, there's a good chance you could get some water in here. I don't know how that will affect it, but, and look at that, it's powered on. Right now the soundbar is showing, I can't read that. What is that? Huh. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's go to mode. Oh, Bluetooth maybe? I don't know. Where's my phone? Let's see if it'll connect. Bluetooth. There it is. KEMIMOTO 4S. It'll say Bluetooth connected probably. And it is Bluetooth connected. Let's go ahead. Now, unfortunately, I have to play some copyrighted, non-copyrighted music. I can't turn it up super loud right now, but we'll give it a shot just to see how it sounds. Let's turn it down just to make sure. The rear, you can see the rear. You have to pardon the cord here for the other sound bar, but I mean, it sounds about the same as my other sound bar. I really don't want to go cranking it. It sounds decent. So I'm going to take this out on the trails tomorrow, and I'm going to take it and see how it does. And I'll try to capture some video of it playing.
Today we're testing this KEMIMOTO soundbar, their 6-speaker soundbar. And I got my little co-pilot Tristan with me. Say hi, Tristan.
Hi.
Give this soundbar a test. You got your seatbelt on?
Yep.
Look at that.
No time to worry about the past. Await the future to come at last. This time tomorrow I will be gone.
a little bit of discussion around why I wanted to add a soundbar to my side-by-side. There are times when I have a passenger that rides with me, and you might be out in the trails, might be out in the woods, and you might want to listen to some music. Now, I originally didn't want a soundbar. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Just for the reason I didn't want the draw on the system. I have enough things that I power my GoPros, you know, I power my tablet for my mapping. So I run a fan, I charge my phone. So I didn't want something of this nature that's 500 watts, putting a draw on the battery and on the system. I originally went out and I started looking for portable Bluetooth speakers, because I see a lot of people that'll mount like a Bluetooth speaker right here. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the only time you're really gonna hear these is most likely when you're stopped or slowing down or slow trail riding. Because let's face facts, even a $200-300 soundbar, you're gonna have to crank that thing so loud because of not only the wind noise, the engine noise, and if you have an aftermarket exhaust, you're not gonna hear it clearly. Not to mention most people are wearing helmets. You should be wearing a helmet, but there are a lot of people that don't. So for the people that don't wear helmets, yeah, you're probably hearing it more, but I guarantee you're gonna have to crank it in order to hear it. So you gotta keep in mind there's a lot of elements that are working against these things. They're not a bad product. I see a lot of people that give reviews, especially on the KEMIMOTO soundbars, that, oh, there's no bass. Well, I got news for you. This is a very tight box, and for the amount of money that you're paying for these units, I think this unit was just recently on sale for like 160 bucks. For 160 bucks, you're getting 6 speakers, Bluetooth capability, USB capability to plug in, the lights, waterproof, easily hooked up. I mean, what else can you ask for? Before I ended up getting my S60 soundbar, I pivoted to a Bluetooth portable speaker. And the reason why I bought this Bluetooth portable speaker, and here it is, it's actually a Sony, okay? And the reason why I bought this is I wanted to see what it would sound like out on the trail. If it didn't work to my liking or I couldn't hear it, I could always use it at our pool. And that's what ended up happening. I had it mounted up here to the roll bar. You know, some people will mount them. I had it mounted for a minute right here to my crossbar. And my son and I rode a trail back in May up in northern Pennsylvania and crossed over into New York. And we were probably running about 30 miles an hour, and I had this running. Now my roof, when it was on, kind of trapped some of that sound, but it was mounted to the top roll bar. We could barely hear it over the wind noise, over the engine, because you got to face facts, the motor's right behind you, and the exhaust. I run an aftermarket exhaust on this side by side. I have a GSE exhaust. I love it. It is loud, not obnoxious, but it's loud. So there was no way we were going to hear this speaker. And this speaker, which is cool, is it's rechargeable. So this was a great option for me because I wanted something that wasn't going to put draw on the system. I could back this into the garage, plug it in overnight, and it would charge up. It's got like 20 hours of playtime, but I couldn't hear it. That's something that people have to keep in mind when you're looking at sound bars. It's something that you have to keep in mind when you're looking and pricing and looking at reviews of sound bars, because it's not that this is a bad option. It's the elements you're throwing at it that is causing you to think this is not a good option. You know, when you come to a stop on a trail, and then you're gonna have to play with turning it down if you have it cranked. But when you come to a stop on a trail, or you want to hang out with your buddies, let's just say you're at a campsite or you're stopping for lunch, you can always turn this on. I wouldn't leave it cranking because, like I said, it's just pulling draw on your battery. But you can have music out in the woods and you guys are overlanding and you're planning like, hey, we're gonna stop at this location and we're gonna eat lunch. Turn your sound bar on, you can have some music and enjoy yourself. But running and ripping at 40-50 miles an hour on the trails with these things at 4,000 or 5,000 RPMs with an aftermarket exhaust and the engine sitting behind you, I don't know of any soundbar that's going to actually be able to keep up with that noise. So keep that in mind, all right? We want to thank KEMIMOTO for sending us this product to test for them. I'm going to do my best while like I said, on my ride tomorrow to turn this on, turn it up, see how well we can hear it, and then throw that in the video. Thanks for watching. Please, if you find this content useful, drop us a like. Please subscribe. Throw us a comment. Let us know what soundbar you're running. Let us know, you know, hey, I had a Boss soundbar and I replaced it with a KEMIMOTO, or I had a whatever. Just let us know, all right? And thanks for watching.